It's time for respect. So I was thinking, um, while I was doing some laundry this morning about how it was back in the day, when I was growing up, how children were expected to act and you had to do certain things. Like a woman that was old enough to be your mother, you would call her Mrs. And for a man, you would call him Mister, and that was normal. But now our society has become so progressive, and children can call adults by their first name, and they can call it's like everybody is the same, and it's like, where is the respect? I was watching a clip from Maya Angelou. I think she was in Oprah. They were doing a show, and the young lady stood up to ask her a question, and she said, Maya, blah 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 blah, whatever her question. And Maya Angelou put this girl in her place so fast. She didn't even look like she was 18. She was like, first of all, when you address me or someone like my age, you need to call us Miss, Auntie, Mama. There's a lot of words we can use to show respect to people, especially older people. It should be a no-brainer. And your relatives, your grandparents, your uncles, aunts, we should be showing more respect in this society. And everybody has become so like, I do what I want to do, and I say what I want to say. But guess what? There are certain places you wouldn't dare disrespect. If you are in a court, for instance, you're not going to refer, if you're in your right mind, you're not going to refer to the judge as his first name. No, you're not going to. You're going to say, Judge, Your Honor. And when they tell you to stand up, to put that, I believe it's the right hand up before the judge even come up. And I don't totally know how it works. It's been a while since I've been, but you're gonna show total respect, because it's easy to be held in contempt, and who wants to do that? I remember years ago we had to go through litigation, and we were being sued, and I watched Kenneth Copeland, and he talked about bringing the Bible and all this stuff. He's right. I took my Bible. I did a lot of research because I represented my family, and I found some statute. I believe President Obama was the president at the time, and we won. We won. God gave me the knowledge to find that information. However, I didn't just go in there saying, John, if the judge, I don't remember his first name, but I referred to him as Judge or Your Honor. Respect has a lot to do with honor. Disrespecting people, calling them by their first name when they're old enough to be your parent or your grandparent, that's not respect. And there are certain people who I was raised around, who was part of my village, per se. Like, one of them, we went to church together. We went over each other's homes. She had a beautician. She was a beautician. She had a, how do you call that? Her own business, put it like that. So she did a lot for me. She did my hair. Most of the time I didn't pay her anything. I don't even know if I ever paid her. She picked me up. A lot of times I need a ride. Her name is Miss Barbara. Right now, I'm 4 years away, and I prayed I'd make it for being 50. I would never refer to her as Barbara. It's like, even though I'm grown, I have grandchildren. You don't lose your respect because you're grown and you have accomplished so much in life. If I'm a millionaire tomorrow, trust me, her name is still going to be Miss Barbara, auntie, mama. Whatever respectful term come to my mind. Another example, like in the Haitian culture, you call women, especially moms, you call them mommy. I was somewhere, I spent a period of time somewhere, and there was several older Haitian women. I didn't know any of their first names, and I didn't need to. I just referred to them as mommy. Or you probably say, well, why you do that? That's not your mom. It's called respect. And, I did this over different cultures. It doesn't matter, It does not matter. Respect is respect. When I go around my daughter's husband family members, they're a different race. I call them grandma, nanny, whatever it is. These people are old enough to be my grandma. What do I look like calling them by their first name? Some people, that's acceptable. But for me, the way I see it, we need to get back to that generation, to the place we are where we show respect to those who are older than us, those who have paved the way, those who have deserved respect. I see people, they show so much disrespect and they just call people, by their first name. This is what I do. I'm accomplished. I bought my own car. I got my own house. It's like, so what? We have to get back to that point. And I believe getting back to that point is having the respect for our maker, which is God, which is Jesus Christ. Oh yeah. Having respect for him, I believe we will know how to better have respect for others. I don't care how much you accomplish and you feel like, well, I was saying Mr. and Mrs. when I was a child, but you ain't going to find me doing that today. You know who I am? I got a master's degree. I got doctor behind my name. Who cares? We ought to be showing respect, even if we don't like people. Now, see, I'm finna mess some of y'all up. Talk about presidents. I didn't know much about Joe Biden. Maybe I should have been paying attention more politically. But I did not go disrespect him like, Biden is a PO, what. And I've heard it all. Forget Biden, this and that Biden, And I've heard a lot about Trump too. And, I try to pray for these people. I'm not the judge. God is the judge. And he puts them up and he sets them down. His will is going to be done no matter what. But just because we don't like who's in leadership don't mean that we lose respect, even though we don't like them. And for those who have little children, toddler, what do they call them, youth, teenagers, teach your children to have respect for those who's older than them. And sometimes I know it's hard. Some people, it's just they lie and cheat and manipulate, and I've been guilty of this. I say I lose respect for that person. This is what I'm saying in my mind. So even I have to come back and I have to come back and tell myself, okay, this person is this position. Okay, respect them. Try your best. And there's people that's gonna do bad things. They're gonna tell lies. They're gonna make up stories and all. And you're like, man, I can't respect them. We have to do that. Try our best. I try. It's so hard sometimes, because sometimes people want to make you want to cuss them out with their wicked ways, and we all have wicked ways in them. in us. But we ought to keep that respect, because I believe that respect can take you in places where other things can't put you. Being suck up to somebody and doing all this stuff, that only can last so much. Giving gifts to somebody, that only can last so much. However, when you respect, especially for men love to be respected. And I had to learn that the hard way, because when I was younger, man, and my husband taught me that. He taught me that. Because I have a couple of instances I disrespected my husband. And I've learned, God taught me the hard way about respect. And now that I'm older, I feel even more that I need to keep that level of respect for those who are older than me, those who have paved the way, those who've been a part of my childhood village. Like I said, I'm not going to go say, hey, Barbara, the devil is a liar. I mean, the Bible says give honor where honor is due. And especially if somebody help you, they have been around you for years, they have poured in your life, they deserve respect. And like Maya Angelou told the young lady, you don't call me Maya. You call me Miss Maya, Mama, Auntie, And some people's like, that's being ridiculous. It doesn't matter as long as I call you your name. No, it does matter, because respect will take you a long way than disrespect would. Because people will shun a disrespectful person. I can't stand a disrespectful person. They have no respect for themselves. They have no respect for other people. They have no boundaries. They cross your boundaries. They do whatever the crap they want to do. They make up their own rules in law. But when you have respect, I believe, for Jesus Christ, if you have respect for yourself, you won't go and intentionally disrespect other people. Because, and you know what? Some people wonder why their children are so disrespectful. Look at what they live with. Look at what they live with. I'm not the perfect mom, but I've taught my children to respect. My husband especially has taught our children to respect. Have respect for people. Have respect for the president. Have respect for those in authority. You may not like them, they may not like you, but still, see, God will judge every person for what they do. So that don't mean, well, I know this person is a constant liar that you disrespect. And sometimes I've been guilty of this. Just a few weeks ago, somebody pissed me off, and I told them like it was, and I felt bad for that. And I'm not perfect. That's why I'm talking about this. So I could talk about, how we can get disrespectful when we seem that we feel we have been wrong. And I went to that person and I apologize, because that person was over me. They were over me in leadership. And do that person like me? That person hates me. That person, I can go on and on. How they know she don't like me. But she has the position, and I give her to respect because of her position. And we ought to respect. And so I see some people say, well, I don't got to respect so-and-so, they hurt me. I hate my dad. I hate my mama. I've seen and heard a lot of things. I still think no matter what happened to you, you still need to show your respect for those who are over you, those who have paved the way, those who have raised you, those who have helped raise you. Because, how could you forget what they have imparted into you? I think about Miss Barbara all the time. And she's a family member to me. And like I said, I wouldn't think of just, I'm going to call her very first name. I'm grown now. I got grandchildren. I'm so grown. No, it doesn't work that way. Respect lasts forever. They don't say, well, I'm a child. I call you miss. I call you mister. No, you still do it when you are a grown person. Your children will do whatever you do. That's why some children, they don't have respect for nobody. They do what they want to do. You can't tell them nothing, anything. Because that lack of respect is what they are used to. They're used to saying whatever and doing whatever without apologies. Because sometimes we have to apologize. I had to apologize. You know, when you know somebody hates you, you know they lying on you. But because of their position, you give them respect. And you go pray. Because our Bible, and God been putting this on my mind so much, and I get tired of it. Like, Lord, stop that scripture. Bless those who curse you. So in blessing them, show them respect. Pray for them. You know, it's hard. Oh, it's hard to respect somebody who constantly disrespect you, who constantly make you the object of mockery, who constantly tell lies on you. But we have to do it. And I don't know, it just came, I guess the Holy Spirit brought it to me this morning, thinking about respect and thinking about, you know, just living a lifestyle of respect for God, respect for yourself, respect for others, especially those older than you and those who are in authority. And hey, cousin, yes, ma'am. So we can, some people can get beside themselves with respect, you know, and that spirit of disrespect came in me a while ago. And it said, you see what so-and-so doing behind your back? You don't even call them by their name. That's not even, I'm not going to go too much in it. And I was thinking, yeah, that's right. I don't got to call them name anymore. And it's like the Spirit of God say, no, you're going to call. This is what this person is. This person has poured into you. This person has it. And that's what the thing is. We can become so mad at people that we lose our respect and say, you know what? Or what, that person could do something that we don't like or feel that it's just shameful. Like, I'm not going to respect her because he did this and that. And it's like the woman who was caught in the midst of adultery. The Pharisees wanted to stone this lady to death because, yeah, she was sinning. But what were they doing? And that's why God said, he without sin cast the first stone. We all have sins and fall short. But that don't mean because I know your sin, I got to still disrespect you. You see? So I didn't want to talk too long. I just wanted to, you know, say that. And we just need to bring respect back. You know, children need to be in the children's place. Children should be referring to an adult as a miss or mister, mama, daddy. And people will say, well, that's ridiculous. I ain't calling nobody else mama. I do all the time. That's respect. And nobody that I do that to, that say, don't call me mama. No, they see that as a sign of respect. And they go out of my way, they wait for me. Like I talked about the Haitians, the mommies, the older women. I be like, mommy, this and that. And they make sure I have what I need. Because, you know, God put people in our lives for a reason. I'm not close in distance to my mom. My mama is several miles, 100 miles away from me. A couple miles, I don't know. But anyway, I was away from me. So God know how to fill in the gap, you know. So when we view it that way, it'll make us think like, wow, God, you know, I don't get to see this person or that person, but you placed this person in my life for a season. And we can glean off their wisdom and listen to them. And those mommies that I told you about, they poured into me. When I was where I was, they poured into me. They act just like they was my mama. And I feel so blessed for that. They're blessing. They bless me. I'm almost in tears. Well, anyways, so respect is respect. I hope this message was helpful to someone. Share this. You know, if you were helped by this message or any other of my messages, I went a little long just today, Please like and share. Until next time, bye.